Dan Ward here from Ochiko Bushcraft. Two cutting tools that I always tell my students that they should have with them in their survival kit is a good quality knife and a folding saw. Nothing works faster than a good quality folding saw and getting poles cut if you need to get an emergency shelter built. I'm a big fan of the Baco saw. It is a part of my larger survival kit. It's on my bushcraft belt. It goes with me every time that I go up in the mountains to camp out. But I've also been looking for a smaller, more compact folding saw to carry in a smaller survival kit, something that I could recommend to my students. So Ultimate Survival Technologies has come out with a new saw called the Parasaw Pro. It is a small 5.5 inch folding saw. It comes with this little nylon sheath, bright orange, which I do like because when you set it down, it's easy to find again. The blade locks in place. There's a lock right here to unlock it. And when it's locked, it seems to be very secure. The paracord handle has a tinder line inside, so if you need some emergency tinder, you can cut into the paracord. There will be a red thread in here that will take a spark and will burn, which is handy because this little kit also comes with a striker, which the saw itself can be used. There we go. Probably not the best striker, but it does put out sparks. I would probably say, because the saw is tearing it up a little bit, that you'd be better off in just putting a regular striker in here. And I would carry this only as a backup anyway. Ultimate Survival Technologies, same company that made this saw, is also the maker of the Strike Force, which is my primary fire starter. This would be a nice emergency backup, but I would definitely put a small striker in the pouch with it and not rely on the saw, as it was doing a pretty good job of tearing up the ferro rod. There's an emergency whistle on here as well. Pretty good volume on that. So anyway, I'm going to put this to the test right now and see. It's fairly inexpensive. Like I said, it comes with a nylon pouch, fire starter, whistle, which the whistle works real well. And let's see how it works. So I've got a couple poles sitting back here. Just nothing real large, but give it a quick test and see how this thing works. Okay, not near as fast as my Baco, I'll tell you that right off, but it does do the job. The lock is holding the blade securely in place. This is a harder wood, by the way. It's pine and fir are softer, would definitely be faster and easier cutting, but it does seem to do the job fair enough. Take another, I got a pole laying right here, pretty dried out. See what, see how it works on this. Well, definitely not as fast or easy cutting as the Baco or even the Silky Pocket Boy. But then again, this, like I said, is some really dry, harder wood. It's not pine or fir. So I actually tested it by giving it a harder wood than I would actually be using. The teeth are definitely sharp. I said it's definitely more work. I would say in a small compact survival kit, if you're going to be hiking in an area where there's softer woods, pine, fir, willow, and you need to get a shelter up in a hurry, that this little saw would probably do a satisfactory job. Like I said, it's definitely slower and a little more work than the Baco or the Silky. But if I was going to be in, if I'm deliberately camping out, I'm definitely staying with my Baco. If I were in an area of the forest where I was having to deal with harder woods, I probably would definitely have my Baco or a Silky again. But I think, like I said, in a forest like here in the Ochoco's, where we got a lot of pine and fir everywhere you go, and you're just wanting something for an emergency backup, you're out hiking, something goes wrong, you need to build an emergency shelter, got to get a few poles cut real quick for a framework, maybe to lay your poncho over or a trash bag over, something to get underneath it. I just cut 2 poles, in a couple minutes. I could have cut some longer poles, a little bit larger poles on softer wood just as fast. So with that in mind, I would say not a bad investment, but do not use it as your primary saw. Your primary saw in your bushcraft kit, go with the Baco, go with the Silky. Emergency backup saw in a small survival kit. You're throwing it in your rig while you're traveling, taking it on a day hike, just, you're not expecting anything, but just in case. I would say it would be good for that. I would definitely consider adding it to my small survival kit. In fact, I am going to take it out on a hike in the woods tomorrow and see how it works on some pine and fir. Dan Ward at Ochoco Bushcraft. Thanks for tuning in.